54 points.
Yeah.
I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. 54.
It's hard to even process.
In the modern NBA, a 20-point win, it's a comfortable night. Your starters get to rest. A 30-point win, okay, that's a statement. That gets headlines.
Yeah, right.
But 54, that's just a glitch in the system.
Yeah.
And yet, that is exactly where we have to start our deep dive this week.
It's the only place you can start. I mean, we look for trends, we look for patterns and all the noise, but sometimes the data just grabs you and shakes you. The New York Knicks didn't just beat the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh.
They took them apart piece by piece for 48 minutes. And what's really fascinating here isn't just the one-score blowouts happen.
Sure.
It's the history behind that number.
Right, because this wasn't some random Tuesday game where one team just, didn't show up. This was the Battle of the Boroughs, a rivalry game. And the Knicks set a new franchise record.
Erased the old one, 48 points.
Just shattered it. But looking at the data, is this just one really, really bad night for Brooklyn? Or does it signal something bigger?
Oh, if you zoom out, the trend line is... it's undeniable. This isn't a one-off. It's the exclamation point at the end of a very long sentence for Nets fans.
13 straight.
13 straight wins for the Knicks against the Nets. 13. So for a rivalry, the league markets as this big competitive thing. One side is basically treating the other like their little brother. It's a complete power grab in New York.
It feels like a total shift in the hierarchy of that division, the Atlantic. We're going to get to the Sixers and Celtics, but right now, New York is flexing in a way I haven't seen in, a very long time.
And that raises the question, right? When you win by 54, is that just hot shooting or is that a psychological message to everyone else?
Exactly.
It's a message, 100%. When you keep your foot on the gas like that, you're telling the league, we are dialed in. And frankly, given the time frame we're looking at, January 20th to 24th, momentum is everything.
The dog days.
These are the dog days of the season. Legs are heavy. The All-Star break feels close, but it's not here yet. For a team to have that kind of focus, it's rare. It separates the real contenders from everyone else.
Speaking of focus, or maybe a lack of it on defense, this all happened during AWS NBA Rivals Week.
Right.
The league sets this up for these big grudge matches, trying to get a playoff feel in January. And looking at the scores, the intensity's there, but I gotta ask, where did all the defense go?
That is the big league-wide trend right now. I mean, you look at the box scores from Rivals Week, and the offense is it's through the roof. The pace, the efficiency, it's almost hard to believe.
I've got the numbers right here. It's staggering. Pelicans put up 133 on the Grizzlies. The Celtics dropped to 130 on the Nets. Before the Knicks did what they did.
Right.
Even the Pacers put up 117 on a good Thunder team. So what is it? Is defense just becoming, optional in late January?
It's not optional. It's that offensive efficiency is just winning the race right now. As I said, legs are heavy, and fatigue always, always favors the offense.
Because it's reactive.
Exactly. Defense is reactive movement. It's physically harder than proactive movement. The offensive player knows where he's going. The defender has to guess and react.
So the offense is just dictating the terms loudly.
Yes. But there's a nuance here. It's not just, sloppy run-and-gun basketball. It's high-level execution in the half court. The shooting talent across the league is so high that if you're a step slow on a rotation...
It's 3 points.
It's 3 points. The margin for error on defense has never been smaller.
It's interesting you bring up team execution because the commercial side is still all about the big individual stars.
Yeah.
We saw data that Steph Curry and Luka Doncic are still top of the list for jersey sales.
Sure.
But, and this is the interesting part, the Lakers and Knicks are leading in team merchandise sales.
And that tells you something about brand versus player. Curry and Luka are global icons. People buy them. But the Lakers and Knicks, people buy the team, the tribe.
The tribalism, yeah.
And right now, when the Knicks are winning by 50, that tribalism is, it's very profitable. It's a lot easier to wear that jersey when you're the bully on the block.
That brand loyalty is something else. But let's pivot from merch back to the court. We talked about the Knicks and that one-game explosion, but we're looking at sustained excellence. There is a team out west that is looking, frankly, terrifying.
You have to be talking about the LA Clippers.
The Clippers.
Yeah.
They're on a 13-3 run. That is the hottest trend in the league, and the obvious reason is Kawhi Leonard is back. But we've heard that story before. Is this time different?
The data says yes. I mean, he comes back from that 3-game absence, immediately drops 24, but look at his season average, 28.2 points a game. The trend isn't just Coe is healthy, it's that the Clippers are peaking.
That's the right time.
At the perfect time. His efficiency is elite. He's not forcing anything. The offense just flows right through him.
It feels like we say it every year. If the Clippers are healthy. It's the biggest if in sports. But right now, the data says they are. And they look cohesive. But there's another team out west that impressed me even more this week. Not for who was playing, but for who wasn't.
Has to be the Denver Nuggets.
The Road Warriors. They've won 6 straight on the road. And they just went into Milwaukee and beat the Bucks, 102-100. But here's the thing. The reports are calling them the depleted Nuggets. No full lineup, guys are banged up, and they still go into that environment and win.
And that is a huge resilience trend. When you're looking at championship teams, you have to ask, can they win ugly? Can they win when their stars aren't playing?
Or when the jumper isn't falling.
Right. And Denver went into Milwaukee during Rivals Week without their full team and just ground out a win.
Yeah.
That says everything about their culture.
And who led them? It wasn't Jokic with some, 40-point triple-double. It was Julian Strawther with 20 points.
And that is the stat that should scare the rest of the NBA. We know what Jokic can do. We know what Jamal Murray can do. But when you have a depth guy like Strawther stepping up like that on the road against a team like the Bucks,
It shows the system works.
it's a system, not just a star. The whole next man thing is actually real in Denver. It's not just a cliche.
Let's contrast that with the Bucks, who lost that game. Are they trending down? Losing at home to a depleted team feels like a check engine light.
It's a shaky week for them, for sure. It's a red flag about their focus, maybe their depth. You have to defend your home court, especially then. But if we're talking about real downward trends, we have to look at Phoenix.
Oof, yeah. That situation looks tough.
Yeah.
They lost to the Hawks, which is a game you'd expect them to win. But the huge story is Devin Booker.
Yeah, he exited that game, stepped on a Kongwu's foot. It's a classic ankle injury. And in this league, availability is the best ability. And you see how fragile these super teams can be. You put all your money into 3 guys, and if one of them goes down, the whole thing just wobbles. The Suns don't have a Julian Strawther to come in and drop 20.
Speaking of surprising trends, let's look at what used to be the bottom of the standings. There is a youth movement happening that we need to talk about. The Charlotte Hornets are thriving. Is that right?
Thriving is the word the data is using, and it fits. They have a, quote, hive full of young talent that is finally starting to click.
It's turning potential into production.
Exactly. For years, they've been collecting assets, but now we're seeing it translate to wins. They're not just fun anymore, they're actually competitive.
And that leads us right into player trends, because there's been a huge shakeup at the top of the rookie ladder. There's a new number 1, and it's not Cooper Flagg anymore.
It's Con Whipple. And this is a big deal. Flagg has been the headline guy, the highlight reel. But Newpel is actually driving winning basketball for Charlotte right now.
And that's the key phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Driving winning basketball. It's so rare for a rookie to actually impact the win column. Usually, they just put up empty stats on a bad team.
We call them good stats, bad team guys. But Kalipal is impacting the game when it matters. He's playing like a vet. He's stabilizing that team. And speaking of empty stats, that's another trend we saw this week.
Yes, this was one of my favorite data points. You had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander SGA drop an incredible 47 points. 47.
An amazing individual night. He was completely unguardable. But look at the scoreboard. The Thunder lost to the Pacers 117-114.
Okay, now contrast that with Kevin Durant. He drops 32, very efficient, 11 for 19 shooting.
And the Rockets snap a 5-game slide.
So, what's the trend here? Efficiency over volume.
It's about winning impact. SGA's 47 points were amazing, but the Pacers just absorbed it. They let him cook, but they shut everyone else down and won with a team effort. Durant's 32 points were surgical. They were applied specifically to stop the bleeding. It's a reminder that a huge scoring night doesn't always equal a win.
It's the difference between eating a giant meal that makes you tired and eating a perfectly balanced one that gives you energy.
That's a perfect analogy. SGA had the feast, KD had the nutrition.
And while we're on stars impacting winning, we have to talk about the MVP race. The ladder shifted. There's a new name sprinting into the top 5, Tyrese Maxey.
This is the leap. We were all waiting for it.
Oh.
Maxey has been an all-star, but this week he proved he is elite. And the data points to one word: clutch.
He lifted the 76ers over the Rockets in OT. And look, Joel Embiid is still being Embiid, getting triple-doubles, but Maxey playing at this level, It just changes the entire ceiling for Philly.
It changes the math. If you have two guys who could be in the top 5 for MVP, you're a nightmare. You can't just build a wall around Embiid anymore because you can't leave Maxey. He's not a sidekick. He's a co-star.
Unfortunately, we have to circle back to the negative side injuries. We mentioned Booker, but the Golden State Warriors are really hurting.
Yeah, it's a tough stretch for them. Jonathan Kuminga, he's out with an ankle and knee issue, getting an MRI. That's scary for a guy whose game is all about athleticism.
Yeah.
And maybe even bigger, the reports say they're moving forward without Butler III.
Jimmy Butler, yeah, he was their second leading scorer, 20 points a game. That is a massive hole to fill production-wise.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting his defense and his toughness.
It completely changes their rotation. You lose 20 points, and you lose the guy who guards the other team's best player. And this is where we get into the tactical trends. How do teams adjust?
And how do they evaluate themselves? This was maybe the most interesting thing I read. The Lakers are doing what they call a trade deadline audit, but they're focusing specifically on second quarter numbers. Why the second quarter?
This is the modern front office at work. The first quarter is scripted. The fourth quarter is about your closers. The second quarter, that's your bench. That's when your stars are usually resting.
So if the Lakers are getting killed in the second quarter, it tells the front office, our bench isn't good enough. It isolates the problem.
Precisely. If LeBron and AD sit and the team immediately goes -12, that's not a starter problem. That's a roster construction problem. It's an incredibly smart, granular way to figure out what you need before the trade deadline.
I love that. It's like checking the engine while the car is running. Another metric floating around this week is performance in big games.
This is the contender versus pretender filter. The metric is simple. What's your record against other teams over .500? Because at this point in the season, you can't just beat up on bad teams anymore.
So a pretty record can hide your flaws if you can't beat the good teams.
Exactly. If you're, say, 2-8 against winning teams, you are a paper tiger. The math catches up in the playoffs. It's why that Nuggets win over the Bucks was so huge. It was a big game win, on the road, depleted. It validates them.
Okay, let's look ahead. What does all this mean for the next week or so? Because the calendar is absolutely stacked.
It all comes together this Saturday. There's an ABC triple header that is basically a showcase of every single trend we've just talked about.
It starts with the hottest team against the rising star. Knicks versus Sixers.
This is the test, right? The Knicks are blowing out bad teams. The Sixers have Maxey playing at an MVP level. This game tells us if the Knicks' dominance is for real. If they handle the Sixers, we have to start talking about them as maybe the favorite in the East.
Then we get Warriors versus Timberwolves.
Which is all about tactics now. How do the Warriors score without Butler and Kuminga against that suffocating Minnesota defense? It could be a very long night for them.
And the nightcap, Lakers versus Mavericks.
Star power everywhere. But again, watch that second quarter. See if the Lakers bench can survive when LeBron sits. That might be where the game is decided.
There's also a really cool moment happening in Chicago on Saturday.
Yeah, the Bulls are retiring Derrick Rose's #1 jersey.
That's going to be emotional.
It's going to be special. And, from a trends perspective, emotion matters. Teams play with a different kind of energy on nights like that. I would not be surprised if the Bulls pull off an upset just riding that wave.
Good point. One quick scheduling note. The Wizards-Hornets game has been moved because of a winter storm.
Right, it's a noon tip-off now. Weather? The one trend we can't really analyze.
Huh? Very true. And keep an eye out for February 1st. That's when the All-Star reserves are revealed.
Always a big day. Based on what we've seen, you have to think Maxey and Kawhi are locks. It'll be interesting to see who the coaches reward. They value winning.
So, to bring it all home, we started with the Knicks winning by 54. We talked about Maxey's rise. What's the one big takeaway from this week?
For me, it's the potential power shift back to the Atlantic Division. For years, the conversation has been about the West or about Milwaukee. But with the Knicks playing like this and the Sixers having a second MVP candidate, the road to the finals might just run through the I-95 corridor again.
A scary thought for everyone else. And hey, for everyone listening, before you make your weekend best, go check that big game record. Don't just trust the overall standings.
Context is everything.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll be watching those Saturday games very closely. Catch you on the next Deep Dive.